We have delivered 4 sessions um, on this topic. The first session is tell our business case and a business story and the solution architecture. Um, the business case is very straightforward. It's about a cake factory and across the country. I have the in Boston office and the Chicago office and the Dallas office or factories. And every factory have two key assets. One is the refrigerator and one is the oven, and which makes a common sense for the cake manufacturer, especially the real-time and on-demand requirements. And in the second session, we go through the demo for the age simulation. The age simulation, we simulate the dashboard for the age control panel and in Chicago, Boston, and Dallas respectively, and also simulate some exceptional situation. Maybe the temperature is too high or carbon dioxide concentration is too high, and then we can emerge to which kind of trigger an emergency so that the system shut down and then alarm light is going to be running. Um, and in the third section, we go through what's an IoT platform is really our message hub. We can store the data on the cloud end, and we also do the orchestration through our API calls. And also, itself includes some dashboard and alerts. Get the brief introduction. And in the number 4 session, just the previous session, we talk about go through the MAXIMO and with two major use cases, work order management and automation, and also the asset failure management. These two cases, how can we handle this? So in this session, we will focus on the MAHI with MAXIMO asset health insights, and how to using the MAHI to handle the asset health management. So we want to do some preventive maintenance, so which is we can score the asset and so that we can perform the maintenance before the issue happening. Okay, and similar as the previous section, that MAHI is a very complex setup. Still, we come back to this period. In the first 4 layers are the same, identical as the previous MAXIMO asset setup, but for the MAHI itself, it's going to some special setup. If you see this architecture diagram, you can see the data really come to the 2 different sources. Number 1, the major source is from the cloud, pulling from the cloud and the database, MAHI, and then so that monitor the insights. And also, if we really want to simulate something, we can using the RESTful API core and to inject the data into MAXIMO directly, and also those data can showing in real time in the dashboard. So we were demo that situation in when we go walk through the MAHI. Okay, now very quickly, and we go to the MAXIMO. So this is a MAXIMO. MAXIMO MAHI is an add-on to the MAXIMO, but the separate products. So which means you need to pay extra if you want to purchase the MAHI. But from the user perspective, user experience perspective, they are pretty integrated pretty well. So when you log in as a Mike Wilson, and you just need to type the reliability engineering. So there is a unique role to using the MAHI, which means there's a reliability engineer. So when his job is to monitoring the assets dashboard and to see which asset have a lower score. So now you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dashboard here. There are 2 dashboard is mine, cake factory. The first one is the forest industry refrigerator. It's 3 assets. Refrigerator 1, 2, 3 in Boston, Chicago, and Dallas, and also forest's pressure ovens, 3 assets. So let's look at the how to. First of all, we need to say, okay, how to set up the MAHI. There are there are different ways to set up the MAHI. The first one is dashboard. You can show, and also you can see the location. So that's why we need to have to set up the proper address. So you get Chicago, Dallas, and Boston, 3 places automatically showing on the map, so you can know where your asset is. And when you go to the there are 3 different things. One is we need to set up the asset group. You are showing there are 2 groups. One is forest refrigerator, and the second one is forest oven. So there are 2 groups. This is done. So these 2 tags are pretty important. The first one is to do the scoring. So if we go back to the asset, let's go back to the dashboard first. And for example, if you look at the refrigerator, industrial refrigerator in Boston, yeah, the score is like 60%. So that is not too bad. It looks like we got some problems on the refrigerator, but carbon dioxide is okay. And also the budget versus replacement is okay. It's the is matched the minimum, and also the remaining the maintenance useful life is also okay. And also this is called drivers, and you have your data drive, you have your budget drive, and you have your valid useful life drive. And also for the assets external, right, outside of your building, and maybe the weather can be the consideration. If you are in the extremely cold weather or extremely hot weather, or the certain equipment that maybe have the impact. So you can create a lot, but in here is the proof of value. We just choose 3, and then be honestly, we will focus on the first driver, which is data. What does the data tell us the situation? What the temperature tells us, what's the refrigerator tells us the situation. Okay, and to the setup, we need to set up the scores. Set up the score, and you can see in the refrigerator, you can set up the score, and you do the next, and you can see the different refrigerator, and you can set up the different score, 100 and 0, and with the different situation, and also the score factors. If you see score factors, that is also is some equations to make you to set up when it's over 40 degrees, then the score is going to go to very low. When it's go to the for the refrigerator, you need to make sure that the temperature is fit properly. And when you set up the score, you need to bring the data into the MAHI. So this tag give you one convenient way to get the data from the Watson IoT platform directly. So if you see this diagram, you have the Watson IoT platform cloud, and then go through the integration tools, and then you can get the data through the Chrome tab, the IoT history, and then directly go to the MAHI. And so this is the setup. You need to set up the endpoint, IoT platform, and a cloud, and you need to set up the endpoints and set up the device types. What exactly device you want us to set up. And for example, you get to the I think you need to register the different kind of the map, the schemas. If you next, you can have the refrigerator here, and you can have oven here. If you dive into it, you can see the data looks like this, and you can get the sample data from the sensors to define it. So after these 2 steps and everything set up, you can get the data in real time, and it's changing. For the batch job, it could be running behind by every hour or every day, but for the real time, we can also change. So right now, we can do our experiment, refrigerator 001, and if we do some changes, for the data sending to say, hey, we need to set up the temperature is very high, and then carbon dioxide to make it normal, and then I do a deploy, and I try to inject something inside the MAHI, and we can take a look. So this looks like it's okay, right? And if you click inside, it's okay. If I refresh the score, the temperature is go to 0. Why? Because as a refrigerator, and you already get the temperature way high above the limit, so you only get 0. So overall, your score is going to drop significantly. And from the last session, we know that automatically the work order already generated. And as a reliability engineer, you also can generate. You can have the meter reading. Right? Meter reading is 100. Is already a predictive maintenance and a preventative maintenance. And also here, you can create the work order. You can create the tech actions. Create the work order as a reliability engineer, because you see, wow, the score is relatively low. We need to send somebody to take a look. And also, we can check what's the work order situation. Some of the work orders we just created in the previous activities. So overall, this is a very quick demonstration about how the IoT data from the edge and can bring up to the MAXIMO, and how can we implement the work order management, asset failure management, and asset health management, which is a dashboard. And in the future work, we do have some plan. And of course, you see here, we need to implement the rear edge. And we already work with Smart Connect to work on that. And also for the MAXIMO, we need to, we can implement other use case. For example, the inventory management, we will create some use case for that. And also for the future solution, we can, the next steps in edge solution, Smart Connect, and also other vendors also can, it's possible to provide the solutions. And also we can extend to the other areas. So the current one is the industry area, but also we can interpret as the retail. If you think about it, this is a cake store instead of the cake factory. So it's a retail. And meanwhile, we were extended to the other IBM's interesting solutions, blockchain, AI, Tririga, and also we were extended to the other IoT platforms.